Hi guys, I'm back. Today I'm going to Leviticus 16 to 20, Proverbs 13, and Psalm 134. Let's get started. The Lord spoke to Moses after two of Aaron's sons had died. They were the sons who died when they came near the Lord. The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to your brother Aaron. Tell him not to come into the most holy room just any time he wants to. Tell him not to come behind the curtain in front of the cover of the ark. The cover is the place where sin is painful. If he comes behind the curtain, he will die. That is because I appear in the cloud over the cover. Aaron must not enter the area of the most holy room without bringing a sacrifice. He must bring a young bull for a sin offering. He must also bring a ram for a burnt offering. He must put on the sacred inner robe out of wool. He must wear linen underwear next to his body. He must tie the linen belt around him, and he must put the linen turban on his head. These are secret clothes, so he must take a bath before he puts them on. The community of Israel must give him 2 male goats and a ram. The goats are for a sin offering. The rams for a burnt offering. Aaron must offer the bull for his own sin offering. He will pay for his own sin and the sin of his whole family. Then he must take the 2 goats and bring them to me at the entrance to the tent of meeting. He must cast lots for the 2 goats. One lot is for me, the other is for the goat that carries the people's sins away. Aaron must bring the goat chosen for me by lot. He must sacrifice it for a sin offering, but the goat chosen by the other lot must remain alive. First he must be brought in to me to pay for the people's sins. Then he must be sent into the desert as a gate that carries the people's sins away. Aaron must bring the bull for his own sin offering. He will pay for his own sin and the sin of his whole family. He must kill the bull for his own sin offering. He must take a shower cup full of burning coals from the altar in my sight. He must get 2 handfuls of incense completely burned up. The incense must smell sweet. He must take the cup and the incense behind the curtain. He must put the incense on the fire in my sight. The smoke from the incense will hide the cover of the ark where the tablets of the covenant are kept. The cover is the place where sin is paid for. Aaron must burn the incense so that he will not die. He must dip his finger in the bull's blood. He must sprinkle it on the front of the cover of the ark. He must sprinkle some in front of the cover. He must do it 7 times. Then Aaron must kill the goat for the sin offering for the people. He must take his blood behind the curtain. There he must do the same thing with it as he did with the bull's blood. He must sprinkle it on the cover of the ark. He must also sprinkle some in front of it. That is how he will make the most holy room pure. He must do it because the Israelites are not clean. They have not obeyed me. They have also committed other sins. Aaron must do the same for the tent of meeting because it stands in the middle of the camp, and the camp is unclean. Aaron will go into the most holy room to pay for the people's sin. While Aaron is there, no one may be in the tent of meeting. No one may enter the tent until Aaron comes out. He will not come out until he has paid for his own sin and the sin of his whole family. He will not come out until he is also paid for the sin of the whole community of Israel. Then he will come out to the altar of the burnt offering. It is in front of the tent where the ark of the Lord is. He will make the altar pure and clean. He will take some of the bull's blood and some of the goat's blood. Then he will put the blood on all the horns that stick out from the upper 4 corners of the altar. He will sprinkle some of the blood on it to his finger 7 times. He will do it to make the altar pure. He will do it to set it apart from the Israelites. They are unclean. Aaron will finish making the most holy lamb pure and clean. He will finish making the tent of meeting and the altar pure. Then he will bring out the live goat. He must place both of his hands on its head. While he does that, he must tell me about all the sins the Israelites have committed. He must tell me about all their evil acts and the times they did not obey. In that way, he puts their sins on the goat's head. Then he will send the goat away into the desert. The goat will be led away by a man appointed to do it. The goat will carry all their sins on itself to a place where there are no people, and the man will set the goat free in the desert. Then Aaron must go into the tent of meeting. He must take off the linen clothes he put on before he entered the most holy area. He must leave them there. He must take a bath in the holy area, and he must put on his regular clothes. Then he will come out and sacrifice the burnt offering for himself. He will also sacrifice the burnt offering for the people. That will pay for his own sin and the people's sin. He will also burn the fat of the sin offering on the altar. The man who sets free the goat that carries the people's sins must wash his clothes. He must take a bath. After that, he can come back into the camp. The bull and the goat for the sin offerings must be taken outside the camp. Their blood was brought into the most holy room. It paid for sin. The hides, meat, and guts of the animals must be burned up. The man who burns them must wash his clothes. He must take a bath. After that, he can come back into the camp. Here's the law for you that will last for all time to come. On the 10th day of the 7th month, you must not eat anything. You must not do any work. It does not matter whether you are Israelites or outsiders. On that day your sin will be paid for. You will be made pure and clean. You will be clean from all your sins in my sight. That day is a Sabbath for you. You must rest on it. You must not eat anything on that day. This is the law that will last for all time to come. The high priest must pay for sin. He must make everything pure and clean. He has been anointed and prepared to become the next high priest after his father. He must put on sacred clothes that are made out of linen. He must make the most holy room, the tent of meeting, and the altar pure. And he must pay for the sin of the priest and all the members of the community. Here's the law for you that will last for all time to come. Once a year you must pay for all the sin of the Israelites. So it was done, just as the Lord commanded Moses. The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to Aaron and his sons. Speak to all the Israelites. Tell them, here's what the Lord has commanded." He said, "Suppose someone sacrifices an ox, a lamb, or a goat. They sacrifice it in the camp or outside of it. They do it instead of bringing the animal to the entrance to the tent of meeting. They sacrifice it instead of giving it as an offering to me in front of the holy tent. Then they will be thought as guilty of spilling blood. Because they have done that, they must be separated from their people." The Israelites are now making sacrifices in the open field, but they must bring the sacrifices to the priest. They must bring them to me at the entrance to the tent of meeting. There they must sacrifice them as friendship offering. The priest must splash the blood against my altar. It is the altar at the entrance to the tent of meeting. He must burn the fat. Its smell will please me. The Israelites must stop offering any of their sacrifices to statues of gods that look like goats. When they offer sacrifices to those statues, they are not faithful to me. This is the law for them that will last for all time to come. Tell them, suppose someone offers a burnt offering or sacrifice. It does not matter whether they are an Israelite or an outsider. And suppose they do not bring it to the entrance to the tent of meeting to sacrifice it to me. Then they must be separated from their people. Suppose someone eats meat that still has blood. It does not matter whether they are an Israelite or an outsider. I'll turn against them if they eat it. I'll separate them from their people. The life of each creature is in its blood. So I have given you the blood of animals to pay for your sin on the altar. Blood is life. That is why blood pays for your sin. So I say to the Israelites, you must not eat meat that still has blood in it. And an outsider who lives among you must not eat it either. Suppose any of you hunts any animal or bird that can be eaten. It does not matter whether you are an Israelite or an outsider. You must let the blood flow out of the animal or bird. You must cover the blood with dirt. That is because every creature's life is its blood, and that is why I have said to the Israelites, you must not eat any creature's meat that still has blood in it. Every creature's life is its blood. Anyone who eats that kind of meat must be separated from the community of Israel. Suppose someone eats anything found dead or torn apart by wild animals. It does not matter whether they are an Israelite or an outsider. They must wash their clothes. They must take a bath. They will be unclean until evening. After that, they will be clean. But suppose they do not wash their clothes, and suppose they do not take a bath, then they will be held responsible for what they have done. The Lord spoke to Moses. He said, speak to the Israelites. Tell them, I am the Lord your God. Do not do what the people of Egypt you used to live there, and do not do what the people of Canaan do. I am bringing you into their land. Do not follow their practices. Obey my law. Be careful to follow my rules. I am the Lord your God. Keep my rules and laws. The one who obeys them will benefit from living by them. I am the Lord. Do not have sex with any of your close relatives. I am the Lord. Do not bring shame on your father by having sex with your mother. Do not have sex with her. She is your mother. Do not have sex with any other wife of your father. That would bring shame on your father. Do not have sex with your sister. It does not matter whether she is your father's daughter or your mother's daughter. It does not matter whether she was born in the same home as you were or somewhere else. Do not have sex with your son's daughter or your daughter's daughter. That would bring shame on you. Do not have sex with the daughter of your father's wife. She was born to your father. She is your sister. Do not have sex with your father's sister. She is a close relative on your father's side. Do not have sex with your mother's sister. She is close relative on your mother's side. Do not bring shame on your father's brother by having sex with your wife. She is your aunt. Do not have sex with your daughter-in-law. She is your son's wife. Do not have sex with her. Do not have sex with your brother's wife. That brings shame on your brother. Do not have sex with both a woman and a daughter. Do not have sex with either her son's daughter or her daughter's daughter. They are close relatives on their side. Having sex with them is an evil thing. Do not take your wife's sister as another wife and have sex with her. Do not do it while your wife is still living. Do not have sex with a woman during her monthly period. She is unclean at that time. Do not have sex with your neighbor's wife. That would make you unclean. Do not hand over any of your children to be sacrificed to the god Moloch. That would be treating my name as if it were not holy. I am the Lord your God. Do not have sex with a man as you would have sex with a woman. I hate that. Do not have sex with an animal. Do not make yourself unclean by doing that. A woman must not offer herself to an animal to have sex with it. That is the wrong use of sex. Do not make yourselves unclean in any of these ways. That is how other nations became unclean. So I am going to drive those nations out of the land to make them clean. Even their land was not clean. So I punished it because of its sin. The land itself throughout the people who live there. But you must keep my rules and my laws. You must not do any of the things I hate. It does not matter whether you are Israelites or outsiders. All these things were done by the people who lived in the land before you. But that's how the land became unclean. If you make the land unclean, it'll throw you out. It'll get rid of you just as it got rid of the nations there before you. Suppose you do any of the things I hate, then you must be separated from your people. Do exactly as I require. When you arrive in Canaan, do not follow any of the practices of its people. I hate the things they do. Do not make yourselves unclean by doing them. I am the Lord your God. The Lord spoke to Moses. He said, speak to the whole community of Israel. Tell them, be holy because I am holy. I am the Lord your God. All of you must have respect for your mother and father. You must always keep my Sabbath days. I am the Lord your God. Do not turn away from me to worship statues of God. Do not make for yourselves metal statues of God. I am the Lord your God. Suppose you sacrifice a friendship offering to me, then do it in the right way, and I will accept it from you. You must eat it on the same day you sacrifice it or on the next day. Anything left over until the third day must be burned up. If you eat any of it on the third day, it is not pure. I will not accept it. Whoever eats it will be held responsible. They have misused what is holy to me. They will be separated from their people. Suppose you are harvesting your crops, then do not harvest all the way to the edges of your field, and do not pick up the grain you missed. Do not go over your vineyard a second time. Do not pick up the grapes that have fallen in the ground. Leave them for people to the outside. I am the Lord your God. Do not steal. Do not tell lies. Do not cheat one another. Do not give your word in my name, and then be a false witness. Thou would be treating the name of your God as if it were not holy. I am the Lord. Do not cheat your neighbor. Do not rob him. Do not hold back the pay of a hired work until morning. Do not ask for bad things to happen to deaf people. Do not put anything in front of blind people that will make them trip. Instead, have respect for me. I am the Lord your God. Do not make something wrong appear to be right. Treat poor people and rich people in the same way. Yet do not favor one person over another. Instead, judge everyone fairly. Do not go around spreading lies among the people. Do not do anything that puts your neighbor's life in danger. I am the Lord. Do not hate another Israelite in your heart. Correct your neighbor boldly when they do something wrong. Then you will not share their guilt. Do not try to get even. Do not hold anything against any of your people. Instead, love your neighbor as you love yourself. I am the Lord. Obey my rules. Do not let different kinds of animals mate with each other. Do not mix two kinds of seeds and then plant them in your field. Do not wear clothes that are made out of two kinds of cloth. Suppose a man sleeps with a female slave. But she and another man has promised to get married to each other, and her freedom has not yet been paid or given to her. Then she and the man who slept with her must be punished, but they must not be put to death, because she had not been set free. The man must bring a ram to the entrance to the tent of meeting. It is for a guilt offering to me. The priest must take the ram for the guilt offering. He must sacrifice it to pay for the man's sin in my sight. Then his sin will be forgiven. When you enter the land, suppose you plant a fruit tree, then do not eat its fruit for the first 3 years. The fruit is unclean. In the 4th year, all of the fruit will be holy. Offer it as a way of showing praise to me. But in the 5th year, you can eat the fruit. Then you will gather more and more fruit. I am the Lord your God. Do not eat any meat that stores blood. Do not practice any kind of evil marriage. Do not cut the hair on the sides of your beard. Do not clip off the edges of your beard. Do not make cuts on your bodies when someone dies. Do not put marks on your beard, marks on your skin. I am the Lord. Do not dishonor your daughter's body by making a prostitute out of her. If you do, the Israelites will start going to prostitutes. The land will be filled with evil. You must always keep my Sabbath days. Have respect for my sacred tent. I am the Lord. Do not look for advice from people who get messages from those who have died. Do not go to people who talk to the spirits of the dead. If you do, they will make you unclean. I am the Lord your God. Stand up in order to show your respect for old people. Also have respect for me. I am the Lord your God. Supposing the side that lives with you in your land, then do not treat them badly. Treat them as if they were one of your own people. Love them as you love yourself. Remember that all of you were outsiders in Egypt. I am the Lord your God. Be honest when you measure lengths, weights, and amounts. Use honest scales and honest weights. Use honest dry measures and use honest liquid measures. I am the Lord your God. I brought you out of Egypt. Obey all my rules and laws. Follow them. I am the Lord. The Lord spoke to Moses. He said, say to the Israelites, suppose a person sacrifices one of his children to the god Moloch. It does not matter whether that person is an Israelite or an outsider who lives in Israel. He must be put to death. The members of the community must kill him by throwing stones at him. I will turn against that man. I will separate him from his people, as because he has sacrificed his child to Moloch. He's made my sacred tent unclean. He has treated my name as if it were not holy. Suppose the member of the community act like they don't know that the man has sacrificed his child to Moloch. And suppose they don't put him to death. Then I will turn against that man and his family. I will separate them from their people. And I will also separate all those who follow him by joining themselves to Moloch. They are not faithful to me. Suppose someone looks for advice from people who get messages from those who have died. Or they go to people who talk to the spirits of the dead, and they do what those people say. Then they have not been faithful to me, so I will turn against them. I will separate them from their people. Set yourselves apart for me. Be holy, because I am the Lord your God. Obey my rules. Follow them. I am the Lord. I make you holy. Anyone who asks for bad things to happen to their father or mother must be put to death. They cursed their father or mother, so anything that happens to them will be their own fault. Suppose a man commits adultery with his neighbor's wife. Then the man and the woman must be put to death. Suppose a man has sex with his father's wife. Then he has brought shame on his father. The man and the woman must be put to death. They view sex in the wrong way. Anything that happens to them will be their own fault. Suppose a man has sex with another man as he would have sex with a woman. I hate what they have done. They must be put to death. Anything that happens to them will be their own fault. Suppose a man gets married to both a woman and a mother. That is evil. All of them must be put to death. Then there will not be any evil among them. Suppose a man has sex with an animal. Then he must be put to death. He must first kill the animal. Suppose a woman has sex with an animal and kills the woman and with the animal. They must be put to death. Anything that happens to them will be their own fault. Suppose a man gets married to his sister and has sex with her. That is a shameful thing to do. It does not matter whether she does not know of his father or of his mother. They must be separated from their community in front of everyone. That man has brought shame on his sister. He will be responsible for what he has done. Suppose a man has sex with a woman during a monthly period. He has uncovered the place where bleeding was coming from, and she has let him do it. So both of them must be separated from their people. Do not have sex with the sister or either your mother or your father. That would bring shame on the close relative. Both of you would be held responsible for what you have done. Suppose a man has sex with his aunt. Then he has brought shame on his uncle. Both of them will be held accountable for what they've done. They will die without having any children. Suppose a man gets married to his brother's wife. That is something that should never be done. He's brought shame on his brother. Neither of them will have any children. Obey all my rules and laws. Follow them. Then the land where I am bringing you to live will not throw you out. To make room for you, I am going to drive out the nations that are in the land. You must not follow the practices of those nations. I hated those nations because they did all those things. But I said to you, you will take over their land as your own. I will give it to you. It will belong to you. It is a land that has plenty of milk and honey. I am the Lord your God. I have set you apart from the other nations. So you must be able to tell the difference between animals that are clean and those that are not. You must know which birds are clean and which are not. You do not make yourselves unclean by eating any unclean animal, but do not make yourselves unclean by eating anything that moves along the ground. I set all of them apart as unclean for you. You must be holy. You must be set apart to me. I am the Lord. I am holy. I have set you apart from the other nations to be my own people. Suppose a man or woman gets messages from those who have died. Or suppose a man or woman talks to the spirits of the dead. Then you must put that man or woman to death. You must kill them by throwing stones at them. Anything that happens to them will be their own fault. Proverbs 13. A wise son pays attention to what his father teaches him, but anyone who makes fun of others doesn't listen to him. The good things people say benefit them, but liars love to hurt others. Those who guard what they speak guard their life, But those who speak without thinking will be destroyed. People who refuse to work want things and get nothing, but the desires of people who work hard are completely satisfied. Those who do right hate what is false, but those who do wrong stink and bring shame on themselves. Doing right guards those who are honest, but evil destroys those who sin. Some people pretend to be rich but have nothing. Others pretend to be poor but have great wealth. A person's riches might save their life, but a poor person is not able to do anything about danger. The lights of godly people shine brightly, but the lamps of sinners are blown out. Whenever there is arguing, there is pride, but those who take advice are wise. Money gained in the wrong way disappears, but money gathered little by little grows. Hope that is put off makes one sick at heart, but a desire that is met is like a tree of life. Anyone who hates what they are taught will pay for it later, but a person who respects the command will be rewarded. The teaching of wise people is like a fountain that gives life. It turns those who listen to her away from the joys of death. Good judgment wins faith, but the way of wise leads to their ruin. Wise people act with knowledge, but foolish people show how foolish they are. An evil messenger gets into trouble, or a trusted messenger brings healing. Those who turn away from their training become poor and ashamed, but those who are step warnings are honored. A desire that is met is like something that tastes sweet, but foolish people hate to turn away from evil. Fools with wise people and become wise. The companion of foolish people suffers harm. Hard times chase those who are simple, but those who do right are rewarded with good things. A good person leaves what they earn to their children and grandchildren. The sin's wealth is stored up for those who do right. An unplowed field produces food for horses, but those who treat them badly destroy them. Those who don't correct their children hate them, but those who love them are careful to correct them. Those who do right eat until they are full, but the stomachs of those who do wrong are hungry. Psalm 134. All you who serve the Lord, praise the Lord. All you who serve at night in the house of the Lord, pray. Lift up your hands in the temple and praise the Lord. May the Lord bless you from Zion. He is the maker of heaven and earth. Now that's done, I shall now do the Lord's prayer. Please bow your heads. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. Forgive us our debts as we also forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For yours is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. See you tomorrow. Bye.